All right, this is Lunenburg Water District Commissioners Meeting, April 26th, 4 PM. This meeting is being rebroadcast for Lunenburg Public Access, just to notify everybody. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. We have, first up on the agenda, approval minutes, March 22nd, April 12th. 22nd is you gentlemen. April 12th is me and you, John.
Okay. Yeah, Woody took another day off. All right. You need a motion for that?
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion, we approve,
That's chemicals.
make a motion, we approve the minutes of March 22nd.
And April 12th?
And, oh, yeah, okay, and April 12th.
Well, we can't because it's gotta
It
be,
should say
if you do the March 22nd, then.
Yeah,
That's what it should say.
So I wasn't here. Are you in favor of the March 22nd meetings?
I already read it.
Okay, can I read it real quick?
Sure.
Oh, all right, I thought you wanted the date.
I'm just gonna read this.
And we have the minutes of the 12th, John. That was just me and you.
Okay.
Mr. Woodward was on
So you-
vacation.
All right. Well, we can do this now?
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion, we approve the minutes of April 12th.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That one's good.
You weren't here for that.
So I can't sign that, but that one I did sign. You can.
Okay.
So that was erosion control on the warrant?
It was
Erosion control? Corrosion control, okay. I'm like, geez, where do
That's one heck of a-
we need to take care of erosion?
How many hay waddles was that?
Oh, that's the commissioners meeting. We don't have,
That, you have to make a motion for that one too.
we did.
He made a
22nd.
motion. Did Woody?
No.
Did you second it?
No,
It was
because you
just
didn't
you
do.
two.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for March 22nd, 2003.
Then you have to second it.
I second that, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Woodward? Okay, I was not here, so I cannot vote on it. Okay. We were really nice, Matt. We didn't throw you under the bus.
You didn't, I'm not.
We didn't make it chair.
We left the reorganization of the Board of Commissioners.
What a group I work with.
Yeah.
You're a lucky
I
guy.
thought they were gonna make a motion that you were the chairman.
Pretty close, though, pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, they go right
That's-
there. All right.
So if we were to stay on track with historically speaking, it's normally the outgoing commissioner becomes the chairman or the person whose term is up. So I don't know how it happens, but my term is up this time, this next cycle. I will be running for re-election. I'll probably state that now. But that's how it has been done in the past. But
Well, you're doing a fine job, sir, so.
Yes, that's why we're keeping you in this position.
so is that your motion?
Yeah.
That is my motion, is to not change the layout of the board and
That's right.
keep
That's-
Mr. Bursch as the.
Great.
yeah.
So versus chairman, that's a motion, so you second it, and there you go.
All right, I second it.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No. Okay. Well, it looks like I lost.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job.
Did we need to reappoint the,
We already did that last.
We did that last time?
meeting.
Yeah, we didn't need
Employees and everything.
Workers, myself, Fran, we did that last one.
Did
Okay.
we do the attorneys keeping?
Oh.
We
did not.
should appoint them too, because they're,
Okay.
could be that council for next year,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, we only did employees.
Because we did do that in the past. We appointed-
These two fellas? A lady?
no, that's Ty and Bond.
Oh, okay.
Copeland.
So what we would need is just
Copeland
a
and
motion to reappoint Copeland and Page as
As our
our,
council for the next fiscal year.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Coleman and Page for our council for the next year.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, that's done. Commissioner, Superintendent, Clerk, Treasurer additions.
Sorry, I had
That's
myself
okay.
on there.
That's
Yeah, she had a
okay.
lot.
Yeah, well, because I forgot you the last time.
You did,
So
so.
You're up.
what's,
It's all you.
yeah, what's that with you?
Well, great news. About a half hour ago, I just got the DEP letter that we were approved for the lead line.
All good.
$253,000 grant.
Nice.
Good job, Chrissy.
Thank
Great.
you.
That,
Yeah.
that was all her.
Yep.
I mean, she did this whole thing, she did all the legwork, so she
That's awesome.
she gets the credit for
So
that.
Yeah, and that's huge, because I mean, this is something we would have had to have done and paid for
It has to be done.
regardless.
Yep, it had to be done.
And we didn't have to apply for the grant, you found the grant and great
Yep.
work.
Right, and
So-
then, and then the extra work of the equipment to do the
Yep.
forever stuff, I mean, forever.
Yeah.
For a long time, we could do our own logs and
Yep.
tie cards and
We're
stuff.
gonna be able to tie the GIS map and
That,
Yes.
It's everything. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
everything.
that's great.
It's a full blown, it's a
Yeah.
good thing.
that's a
so,
big deal, that's
yeah.
awesome.
They didn't happen to send along the approval for 2A while they were doing that? The
This is a different
Different company.
different company
Yep.
we're
Yeah.
working with, but no, so.
Yeah.
But I emailed Mike, our contact with Fuss and O'Neill,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, just got the email, he was on it too, and he said, I'll be in touch. He said, I think this is great, I'll be in touch and we'll get a preliminary meeting
Awesome.
together and get going, so.
Very excited.
Great.
Yeah.
Question? You said GIS, anything associated with GIS perks me up. Will this is a GIS map, a layer of the water district?
It will be.
Oh,
And, yes, so right now, GIS mapping is on the town website just for our protective area, zone 1, zone 2 kind of
Right,
things.
Right.
So I think with this next grant, that we now have the equipment, we can actually do our own GIS stuff and
that'll be a
make
layer?
our own layer. So I mean, so like if you wanna pull up the layer, cause we can easily tie it to the town's website, you can tie on and say, hey, where's the water main and what size is it? And you should be able to see that on the map. We already have a base level layer for the water mains, but we wanna go into much more detail of the gate valves, the valves out in front of your houses and stuff, so, cause I think that'd be pretty good if someone,
Yeah.
hey, where's my water line? Here it is, you know,
Yeah.
look it
Yeah.
I
up.
think that's a great
You
idea.
know, so this is huge,
Yeah.
that's what.
This is
we're
all part of, we
excited
need to recertify that we have no lead in town, which we don't, but we need to prove that we don't. And in this process, we're gonna be out doing everyone anyway, so like, we have
Yeah.
to get the equipment now to be like, well, here's your valve.
Yep.
Because I don't know what mine is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that's good.
the electronic mapping, like Fran says, will be phenomenal, because now you go out, you have to pull a card, you look at the card, you have to take measurements off of some sort of a standard object to try to locate where a gate valve might be in somebody's yard. Well, with the GIS mapping, I'm assuming you're gonna have a handheld device, you're gonna walk and say it's right.
Yeah,
here.
yep, it should give you a ballpark,
And
they
then
said
we
within a
can
couple
forward it.
feet, so, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my witness. Thank you, Chris. That was a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it was something that DEP came out with that's required anyways. Every water department has to provide this information by October of '24. So it was something we were gonna have to do, and then just started looking into it, and because it's a requirement that not a lot of departments allocated money for, they offered up grants. Well, it originally started with a funding, and then there was potential for principal forgiveness. But then in the meantime of putting this together, they switched it to a grant, which is even better, so.
Awesome.
And that's what our residents they voted on one of these at the annual meeting and then just got it today, so.
Yep, perfect.
So that was one. The other thing was, I gave you guys all handouts. I spoke with Ty and Bond, they put together the proposal that I would like to forward,
Was there another one?
There is.
that I would like to
Doubled up?
forward to, we talked a little bit at the last meeting, Heather at the town.
Yep,
The town had received ARPA funding, and they're accepting proposals right now that's going through the selectmen. So I spoke to Ty and Bond, they put together one, I'd really like to do a full-blown public education for the whole entire town, not just the water district on PFAS. So, kinda if you guys wanna take a look at it, we can present it to Heather, and then, I think we should, and talking with you, Mark, too, I think we should go and talk to the selectmen about it.
Yep.
Because it is kind of
Yeah, you can't read.
detailed with all of this, and it would be nice if they had questions for us to be there to answer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in favor of anything that's gonna benefit the town.
Yeah,
you know?
So these are all things that, when I started talking with Christie about that, we weren't looking to fund or aren't funding right now, and things that would benefit the whole community. I started to think about it more. There would be some things that I think would be nice in general, even for people if they're not in the district. Giving people information on different types of filters you can use, because I tried to look the other day at, online and find a test for PFAS. And they ranged from some people said they had a free test, some people said it was $300, and,
Yeah.
the process in actually testing water to make sure that it's a accurate test is pretty involved, so, trying to get the right information to everybody that if they want to test their water, and any questions that they would ask so that, the engineers could answer those and really educate people on this. Because if the EPA is trying to drop the limit, well, they want to go to 0, but they want to go to 0.4 parts or 4 parts per trillion. If they want to do that, then, to me, that there's got to be a true health concern, and I think that people that aren't using the public water supply, which has PFAS in it now anyway, should be aware and be able to get some information on their private supplies.
so I guess with your review, I don't know if you guys have to vote or anything, I think just review. I can send this over to Heather and ask
To get put on.
to get
Yeah.
put
As
on.
long as you guys are okay with what's in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
If you wanna go through so that people,
So we're asking for ARPA funding from the town.
What is opera funding?
It's basically free COVID money.
America's Rescue
Yeah,
Plan
the rest of it.
Act, something like that,
And,
yes.
and the idea, it's supposed to be used for whatever the town
Yeah, the
needs.
town
They can use it for whatever.
$2 million.
$3 million.
$3 million
I believe
of
is
this
what Heather
funding.
said.
Right.
It's available for different departments in the town to use.
My understanding is so far, I think she said they've used like 700,000 of it.
Correct.
I wanna say for a new
New
ambulance.
ambulance, some drainage stuff.
drainage for the
Yeah.
DPW.
Yeah.
So but she did in the email say to me that they have received over 5 million in applications.
Sure.
So, and she had expressed, what we're looking for, what the selectmen are looking for when they review all these is how are these funds going to benefit the entire community? And so my understanding, I think they have to allocate the money in 2023, and I think it has to actually be spent, I wanna say by 2025.
Okay.
So you have to have a project that can be, done in this
Sure,
whole time.
yeah.
So that's kind of why I went through those 3 steps, was one, we had public education, go out to the whole entire community, have something at the high school or wherever. A hydrogeologist coming in, engineers would be there, we're gonna talk about PFAS, we're gonna go through everything. And then, if they approved, the next step was the master plan, which basically was to look at the water district. What is the water district gonna do to alleviate this PFAS problem? So, which I'd kinda like to almost do before the educational part, because then they can incorporate that. You know what I mean? They can talk to the residents about PFAS
Sure,
and then
yeah.
tie that in and say,
Yeah.
okay, this is
That makes more
this is
sense.
suggestions for well users.
Correct.
This is what we're suggesting for the water district. We are suggesting, work on this well next while you take this one offline, and this is why we need Hickory Hills on, so that when
This one.
Keatings goes off, we
Yeah.
have this, and this is the game plan. So that's my idea. And then the third budget line was for pilot study, because we are gonna have to do that for
Yeah.
Keatings and Lancaster, our other 2 sites. So, and I asked them to kind of break it down so that the
Right, they may
selectmen could
be
look
like-
at it and
yeah.
say, you know what, no, we're not doing this, but we'll do this.
Sure.
So,
I think this is great that we
Yeah.
can present this to them and, hopefully we can get
if
it
they
all.
pick any one of them.
Any one of them.
It'll be a
it'd be
benefit.
huge.
Right, because these are all things we haven't talked about funding.
Yeah.
Right.
These, these are all things that,
But I do think if the town does deny or not have the funding to give to us. I do think it's something that we as the water district should look into for funds, because I think the idea of getting out there to the entire town would be really good. I think it's really starting to come out in the news now, but it's just bits and pieces. So I think if we can tie this into Lunenburg, how is it affecting Lunenburg, not just
Right, I would
the
like to see how it
country.
affects our
This-
town.
this
You
can
hear
be-
all these different things, but what does it mean for us? Because
Yes.
it means something different for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Has anybody thought about the people that caused this problem, getting any money out?
Oh, I'm sure, I'm sure.
where all
File
this-
that, we did that,
We are.
class action lawsuit, we tied into
Yep.
that, we haven't heard any information back.
There's a lot of money already on the system from all that
Yeah.
that has
Yeah.
been
But
collected.
I'm expecting we get millions.
Did they name anybody? I mean,
No, they were actually trying, they picked 3 large cases. and they
No,
were
no,
using-
you mean who are they going after? The companies
Yeah.
they're going
Oh,
after.
Yeah.
I forget
there was
there's-
a bunch of-
yeah, there's a
like
lot of-
DuPont and-
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Big name manufacturers that they're going after, yeah.
Yeah, so there's 3 big water supplies they're using as the test run and suing the companies, and they're gonna use that information for everybody else that's tied to it. So we'll get the trickle down.
Yeah.
And with the MTBE, which was in 2009, I believe it was, I believe it was $400,000. So I can't expect much
yeah,
more than
well,
that.
that's good.
So
Yeah,
we can
I mean-
always use that, if that money does come in somehow, we could use that for
Yep.
this stuff, if the town doesn't.
And this
Yeah.
is a forever evolving financial and informational topic, PFAS. I mean, if EPA lowers their limits, they're well aware that it's gonna affect
Everybody.
All these towns are.
well, nationally.
Yeah.
They're talking about billions of dollars nationally, if they lower these limits. And they did say if they lower the limits, their goal the goal of the EPA is to lower the limits and make everybody compliant in 3 years. So this is why it's very important that we just keep moving forward as fast as we can. This isn't our infrastructure is aging out, it still transports the water. This is water's
You need it.
contaminated,
Yeah.
it's a health issue, we're gonna need to fix it.
So yeah, the proposals, the regulation will be finalized in 2023, so by the
Okay.
end of the year. So
Wow.
Yeah, they've,
then they give you time to react to it.
Yeah.
so if it came to fruition, 23, 24, 25, 26,
Yeah.
we got 3.
Well, yeah, I definitely think this is a great idea. Let's push that up to
Okay.
the clerk.
Yeah,
I'll
I like
send it
this,
to
and
Heather.
then it's a first spot, if we need to, I have a couple ideas where, we could do some other things to help the general public as well. But I don't know how crazy they wanna get. I mean, I would think that one of the big pushes was, that the selectmen have been doing, and they did a great job, is some of the senior tax relief.
Yep.
And there are people in town that might not have the means to put a filtration system in. And even have the means to test to see how bad their water is.
Yep.
So, any additional money that we could get to either come up with a plan on where people can go and get their water tested and maybe help them with that, and/or get a filtration system if needed.
Yep.
Just for people that aren't gonna even be able to touch doing any of the stuff that,
Yep.
Right.
that need to do, especially where it's a health concern.
Yep.
Have you seen the list of requirements to get that tax reduction? The questions?
I can't imagine, and
Take a look at it.
it's a lot. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's, I don't want to get.
Yeah, we're doing water.
Well, no, I'm saying you gotta hire an attorney almost to answer
And
the
that's
questions.
why, to make something easy for people, an easy program to help people that need it. So, okay, you got anything?
One last thing?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
H2 Properties sent me an email, the ones for the 110 Bird Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have gone through, petitioned everything, they came in at the last meeting, so they have sent a formal request for the commissioners to call a special meeting. But I sent it to KP for review
Yep.
before I give a final to you guys to make decisions or anything. If you wanna read it, it's just
They're
Yeah,
just
like-
requesting, they have,
Just requesting the special meeting, but
and they have the signatures.
they have the signatures, they have everything, supposedly, I think that we're at the point for them to ask.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure that everything was good, so I did send it to KP. He sent me an email this morning about a different matter, and
Sure.
he said, I understand, I'll get back to you the end of this week and let you know about those.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I think they fulfilled all their obligations. They officially asked, they submitted their signatures in the petition, so, but we'll see what the.
I would wanna wait for just our council to weigh in
Yeah.
before we decide, and then we wanna make sure that we can publicize and let
Yep.
people know.
Yep.
Yeah, so probably the next commissioners meeting, that'll be a formal, you guys formally
Yeah, by then I'll
call a
have
special meeting.
guidance from KP, so
Yeah,
I can
so-
let you guys know what.
So when we call a special meeting, you'll actually have the article, the warrant, and you guys are actually gonna sign that to call the special meeting.
And we will notify all the people that, I mean, we'll let them know
Yeah.
when this meeting, is that
When
your
the
question?
Well, wouldn't they,
That's one of my questions.
yeah, do you have to notify the abutters of the special meeting?
No, we just
No,
don't.
but it has to be advertised or
Yes, we
something.
gotta put it in the newspaper, post it around town, the 2 spots in town.
We do
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah, we'll do the
website.
Facebook website, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
And, yeah, the
Go ahead.
town manager wanted us to keep her informed too, so we'll pass on to her, she'll pass on the selectmen, so.
okay. Yes, ma'am.
How much notice will there be for the meeting?
what's that, I'm sorry?
How much notice will there be between when the meeting is posted and when the meeting occurs?
I think we have to do
It
2
has to be
weeks, right?
more than 2 weeks, so if we post it to get it in the newspapers, it takes a while to actually get it in, get it all written up, get the board to sign it, so I'm gonna guess if the next commissioners meeting, you guys call it, it'll probably be a month out from that. So, June sometime,
Or more, I mean.
or more.
Yeah, because
You
we're at the
know,
beginning of May, so yeah.
Yep,
It's ready to be recognized.
go ahead. We're very informal right now at these meetings.
Well, you never know. I'm Sharon Jordan from 77 Burridge Street. I have read the letter that you received from H2 Properties, and I had some questions about this. First of all, they said that in accordance with the provisions of the Commissioners' meeting held on March 8th, the Board of Water Commissioners will hold a public hearing at some point in May. Now, a public meeting is not at all the same thing as a special meeting.
That's correct.
So I don't see, reading this letter, that they have actually asked for a special
Special
water
meeting.
district meeting.
So they probably used the wrong.
Well, that's kind
word.
of why I forwarded it to KP, because I wanted them to,
Yeah.
May,
I don't-
So I
tell
think-
me,
I think
like-
I think, right, I think she's correct. I think they
Yeah.
need to reword that to say we
to
need
reword
a
it to
special.
special,
Yeah.
special
okay.
meeting,
Yeah, they
right,
said public hearing instead of
yeah.
special meetings.
right.
Right.
Whether council
Yeah.
feels that that's
We
more.
interpret it, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's
Our
why,
wording's different than what they.
yes, that's it, that's kind of why I forwarded it to KP, to make sure that legal counsel
that.
agrees with everything that needed to be.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
I do feel that there have been a lot of discussions with the neighbors and you folks on this, and my feeling was that we had a pretty firm commitment that it would be 2 or 3 months that we would have as an opportunity to notify people, and that it would be not just the people in the water district, but the town. It's just like PFAS, right?
Right.
Everybody in the town needs to understand what this proposal is. It's not simply expanding the district, the boundary. It's much more significant than that. And, we're just neighbors, right? I mean, we don't have an association representing us. It's just, I went around and I knocked on people's doors. We used to, in the old days, before the internet, we called that sneaker net. And that's literally what I did, but I can only do that so many times, right? And I think I would really like to see, in the interest of transparency, that there is an effort by the water district to involve the town manager and the town administration in holding a meeting that everybody in the town can come to and hear about this. And I don't mean just public comment where, you say how you feel and there's no dialogue. This needs to be informational, and I'm not quite sure how to make sure that happens.
So there's a balance, I feel, between the time that you're requesting And also, the applicant, if he has a proper application, we are kind of obligated to give him, give him that public forum in a decent time. So there's that balance. I mean, I don't know if it's in our bylaws when a special meeting is requested, how long we have.
I think there is. I don't, it's
So
not
we'll-
our bylaws. I think it's in the state
So-
enabling act.
So, I'd like to table this till our next meeting and maybe try to get that
Yeah, so let's see what the
defined.
attorneys.
See what the
counsel
attorney
comes back.
says, and I understand your point, you need some time.
Yeah, I mean,
Fran mentioned he was gonna keep the town manager in the loop. I'm sure she'll keep the select board in the loop, I'm sure in their meetings, they'll keep the public in the loop. We're gonna have to advertise this meeting in the Ledger.
And we can agree, or you guys can agree to push it out as far as we can. Maybe we can do
Yeah.
2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I would be in favor of pushing it out, just to get as much public information out there. However, I do want to table that until, let's see
Yeah, let's-
legally if there's a time frame that we're bound by or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I think the other thing too, though, is that side of what, I know we had talked about at the last meeting, I think you recommended it to H2, and it might be worth a conversation with them
For them to,
to present a little more. And,
Sure.
I understand that this project is bigger than just the district boundaries, but unfortunately, that's all we control, what we
Right.
talk about. We don't control the planning and the building stage
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
But it could be beneficial to the town residents to hear.
From their end.
Or see what they're proposing.
Right.
yeah, without any kind of an idea of what's on the tail end, I don't see a lot of support.
so can I ask one other question? When you said if they have a proper application, what is a proper application?
So the letter they submitted, I would think is, as long as our attorney clears it as a valid request, that would be a valid request
Just this
for us to
paragraph?
hold a special meeting for that purpose.
Along with the supporting documentation.
right, which
of-
he already
Which we-
submitted.
Yeah, but that's just the letters that the neighbors signed, right?
That's the,
Right.
That's the petition.
so that's all he's
So-
required.
But at the March 8th meeting, somebody said that the only thing that's missing out of this is the petition part. He submitted that he has signatures on the majority of the land area, but he hasn't submitted the actual petition, the wording that says, I have this, and I'd like you to call a special meeting.
Right.
We would need to verify.
That's kind of what that email is. He already submitted all the background information, all he just hasn't asked for a special meeting.
So he's already submitted the,
So,
Petition.
He did it
Petition.
backwards. Typically, he submits I want to call a special meeting, here's all my supporting information, documentation. Boom, that's it. It goes to the board, and I think there's a timeline on how much time they have to call that meeting.
and that's in the enabling act?
either in the acts
I
or in the
believe, or
state.
it could be under the attorneys for calling
Right,
special meetings.
so that's why we want to wait until next week to make any kind of a decision on this to see how long we have.
Okay, I just want to be clear that the letters that he had the neighbors sign, which actually he didn't need to, because they own more than 50% of the landmass anyway, is that right?
True.
And this letter is all they need to apply to expand the water district
It would-
legally, that's all they need.
The letter in the
the
petition,
votes.
the vote,
Yeah.
yeah, the people sign on.
Yeah. When the applicant was trying to expand the district up on Howard Street, he already had the landmass, so he didn't need anybody on the street really to sign, did he?
Right, correct, yeah.
So, it's just the way it's set up,
Okay,
so. All right,
Ms. Duffy has a question.
Thanks. Why is it necessary to wait until the next meeting or to hear back from your attorney's opinion on this email before trying to arrange something with the town to provide the entire town public more information on this and potentially have them?
It's so, that's more of us on a legal end to basically receive his petition and make a vote on it. the town public information, that can go out.
You can do that anytime.
I mean, we could send that out tomorrow, we'll send that out to tell town manager that they.
That we, yeah.
Right,
Fine,
this was
we-
very
we were-
fresh.
But I can't sit the three of them in a room without actually having a meeting with an
Yeah.
agenda. So I can't have any
I understand that.
conversations with the three of them, so that's why I guess I try to bring in as much information as I can and then present it to them. So that's why we were saying at the next meeting, we'll know what I mean, I can,
Right, but regardless of what the lawyer says, wouldn't you still approach the town in the same manner?
I wouldn't, I would wait, if the attorney says that letter doesn't say anything, then it would.
Wouldn't they
I would-
just amend the letter and send it again?
Well, that's, but then once it's official, then I say we pass it on and say, hey, it's an official, we have to call a special meeting, then set a date.
Yeah, figure a meeting, but then wouldn't, if there is this limit on how long you can push that out, wouldn't it go into the town as soon as possible? Give the town more time to organize what they're talking about? Like if you have to have the special meeting within 60 days, then, you know, you wait till the next meeting to get that, then it's another meeting until the town meets so they can talk about it, and the next thing you know, it's been a month that's gone by and nothing's happened because we have to wait for all these meetings to go.
That's a good question, so when does the timeline start? Is it when you officially vote to call the meeting?
Yes.
Is that
That
when
would
the
be
time
my-
starts?
that would be
Or
my
is it-
thought.
Or when that email came, you know?
No, I wouldn't think, because we're still waiting for an official review of it.
I agree.
So to me, it's an incomplete application until our council says that it's a complete
Good to go,
application.
yeah.
And,
I will follow up with these questions with KP to get exactly that.
yeah. It's been known for a while that this applicant is interested in doing this. I would assume that until he says he's not, that he's gonna keep moving forward to try to complete this process. So I would assume that he's going to try to complete the process. I would be organizing now if you wanna try to get public information out there about what's going on.
Is there a particular committee or commission or board that would be in charge of doing that?
There really isn't. It would be up to the general public. We have our meetings, so it's announced at our meetings. We have a process we have to follow to hold a special meeting. So as a resident, if I had an issue with something in my neighborhood, and I wanted to get it out there, I would be writing letters to the editor of the Ledger, asking the Ledger if they're interested in doing an article on this and
Maybe
getting
we can come to the
neighbors.
next meeting. If we can get the ledger here at the next meeting, when let's say it's official that this letter's good, you guys are gonna call a special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have him here, and he can do a write-up and have it on the paper, so
Yeah.
it gets out to everybody.
Yeah, the Independent discussing Lunenburg sometimes gets a little awry, but going to a selectmen's meeting during public comment,
During public, that would be my.
there's
selectmen's
a number of different ways to try to get your voice heard and out there. I can't really think of much other than that. I don't know if you guys have anything.
I mean, the selectmen's meeting would be number one. The second one would be like a ZBA meeting or something to that effect. But the selectmen's meeting, if you just simply, Sharon did it, just go up there and public comment, being able to say, this is what's going on, and it'll catch traction.
As many as you go, planning board.
Yeah,
It's gotta go through the planning board. Go to a planning board meeting and public comment and say, are you aware of this, potential development? And what are your thoughts? Or as a resident, I'm not in favor or in favor of it, or whatever your side is. I went to the selectmen's meeting last night for public comment to talk about PFAS and just kind of, because this is a subject that is literally not going away. So the more forums, the more we put it out there, the more people understand it and understand what we're trying to do to clean the water supply. So that's really all. It's just really being diligent and getting out there.
Obviously, we have a limited audience.
Yeah.
So it's not really the best place to go get them at.
Yeah.
Get this young lady got a question.
Oh,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question. So I see the applicant claims they're an LLC. Has anyone looked into the validity of the company / does that matter at this point? Because the information that I could find online indicated that they're inactive in where ordered by the court to be dissolved in December.
Of last year.
Of this past year.
Oh,
Well, they did not file it.
if you have any of that information, that would be great to
Well, that's-
bring to us and we could forward to our attorney. Cause that would go to the validity of their application.
Okay, I can do that. I mean, I don't know
Yep,
from the internet, but I'll forward it.
yep. Yep, and I believe it was Mr. Rogers asked it, was it at the meeting you had out there? I don't know if I was here for that, but he asked if they have ever done a project of this magnitude
Right.
before.
Yeah, it
And
was
I don't think
Yeah.
they had a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So
Yes, that's
there's,
something I was concerned about when I looked into it.
yeah, yeah, something like that, that would, if they're not a valid LLC and they're applying for it, I don't know, who's applying for the expansion? They are, right?
H2 Properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I heard, they were a huge company for the whole East Coast, all the way to Florida and stuff, but I think these guys are just a piece of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how all that works out.
Yeah, when they came in that day, I kind of picked up that they were here representing somebody else, and they were kind of just the mouthpiece. They weren't actually gonna do the project themselves. They were gonna get the paperwork or everything they needed, and then pass it on to this company, from what I gathered. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but no, that's valid. If there's any information like that, I would definitely pass that on to our council. If you get it before our next meeting, I would,
You'll get it in your email right now.
okay.
Did you send it to Loon Lot?
Did you send it to me? All right, I'll forward
Oh,
it.
forward it to me, okay, thank you.
Perfect.
That's all I got.
All right, do we have any more discussion on the application for the special meeting for Bird Street expansion of the district? We all good? Okay, well, do you have any,
I am done,
So
that's
the-
it.
The only thing I have is, we did a pump test on well number 2. We did the wells out back to get further away from the wetlands to get better water quality. So we did a pump test, it was actually a couple of years ago now, 15-day pump test. And the water quality was really good for the beginning part, but then it failed, high manganese. So, so when we did the testing, it was 3 wells, individual wells, so we were drawing from a well field. 2 of the wells failed, 1 of the wells was good. So what we did is we kept that well and added 2 more wells in that area. So with the intent of moving further away and getting better water quality. So that's all set up, ready to go. The pumps are all in the wells, and tomorrow they're gonna start that pump test. It's only gonna be a 5-day pump test, and it's just for water quality. We already proved that the water's there, everything's stabilized. So now we just need to prove that the water quality is gonna be good at the end. So that just a heads up, that's starting tomorrow, so.
Where are they gonna pump it to?
They usually pump it down towards where well number 3 was,
Yeah, but I
down the
mean,
road to the back. of the
We're okay
swamp.
with conservation and everything now, or is that?
Oh, yeah, we don't pump it into the wetland, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
but it's going back into the lake?
No, this is
No, this is
down Lancaster Ave.
this is
Oh,
Lancaster Ave,
okay.
well, 2 down
'Cause I was
Lancaster Ave.
wondering what you was talking about, I didn't pick up on that, okay.
No, so I think it was a while ago, right, when we were thinking about Lancaster, we talked about upgrades to well number 2.
Right.
So this has been going on for.
Yeah, so we started the process, and it's always, you know, if you can find a better, more high capacity, good water quality source, yeah, we didn't wanna stop, so we just figured we'd just
Keep
keep
going,
going with it, so. And if it does work out, that'll be the highest producing well on Lancaster Ave.
Oh,
The PFAS samples at that time passed everything. I'm not sure how they're gonna work under the new regulations. I'll have to see how that goes, so I'm sure that'll be part of the sampling.
Yep,
So
Good.
it's the EPA that's proposed the 4 parts per trillion?
correct.
Does that need to be translated into a Massachusetts regulation and how
No,
long?
EPA is
No.
national, isn't it?
It's
It'll
federal, so
federal.
that it'll go,
It'll pass the Mass DEP. Mass DEP has the option to go even more strict if they'd like.
Oh, I see.
that's
They
gonna be the.
cannot go less strict.
Yeah, that's the benchmark,
I see.
Yep, so it has to be that or
or
the
less.
better.
get better.
Is there anything we should know about the pilot test? What's going on with that down there, and when and how? And
No, it's, 3 submersible pumps. They widened in today, so it's wide into well number 2. We haven't run the Lancaster Ave wells for 5 days, so we can hit a static water level, what that area is. And then they're gonna run the pump test, 5 days, they're gonna monitor it from startup, and they're gonna do like every minute, when they first start.
Yeah, I think we had a little,
You're in Lancaster Ave.
still
I think.
He's on
Yeah.
Hickory Hills.
He was on Hickory Hills.
again, John's bringing some Hickory Hills.
John,
You're as bad
John
as me,
doesn't care about
pal.
Lancaster.
Yeah.
And you're only half my age.
Hey, is that pilot test? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard. There's a meeting with the conservation on May 3rd,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens from there.
So the conservation's the only thing that, the stumbling block, or?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a stumble. I think it's
No,
gonna
I
be.
don't
That's
think so
already been
either.
approved by DEP, and it would just basically.
Yeah.
Right, they're basically going and
Right.
they're gonna review it with conservation so they know what our plan is.
Right, just so everyone's on the same page.
Yep.
All right.
That has to do with the Hickory Hills well.
Right,
Yes.
gotcha.
Okay.
We gotta get these all straightened out, we'll have to start numbering them.
We have them numbered.
Well, you know, yeah.
All right, sounds good.
That's it for me.
I don't have anything.
Did anybody get a chance to review the camera and video recording policy?
Yeah, I did. I reviewed it, I read it all.
Yeah. Thoughts? Do we wanna at least send this to PAC and let them look at it and then get back to us on what their
I
thoughts are?
haven't thought of anything in there that I would disagree with, really. You know, the microphones and recesses and all that stuff, and,
I think this is a great policy.
yeah, I think so too.
I don't see any,
Franny did a great job in that. I think it's good.
Right, the only thing that I thought was, any other recordings taken by individual people on personal devices is allowed, must be stated to everyone present so they are aware they are being recorded. I think it should be stated to everyone present prior to starting any type of recording.
Oh.
Somehow,
So
it
just write it on there.
Yeah.
We'll pick it up.
Just
Okay.
change it as well, yeah.
Because I don't really know what the laws are, but I don't think it's legal to record someone.
unless you say it, but,
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
unless you're the FBI.
yeah.
or sovereign citizen, whatever they have.
Prior to,
So is this something you would like me to send to
yeah, just,
Casey
let's
and
just
say
start
this is
the,
what we-
yeah, let's start the dialogue, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like this.
Okay.
Yeah, send that over.
Yeah, I think
And
they're
we,
all good.
is everybody gonna go next Tuesday, or are we gonna make that a regular meeting for us? For the, if the selectmen
I won't
have a
be here
slot for
next
us?
Tuesday.
Okay,
I can go if you
if we
want.
go, do we need to make that a meeting if we?
I don't think so, if you guys aren't sitting there talking about.
Yeah, we don't
No, we're
have to
just
sit
going
aside each
to
other.
present this, and, you know, we're not really making any,
Oh, you're talking next Tuesday for,
Just like
yeah,
selectmen's, thought you were talking conservation.
no.
We're on the Hickory Hills well.
I have to go to, well, whether the conservation's gonna be Zoom or actually in person, I have to go for another matter, so I will be there.
Alright, so
or
selectmen is
somewhere anyway.
Tuesday, what are they at, like 7?
7.
Yeah,
Tuesday at
They're not
7.
cool like us.
If you could see where we are on the schedule with the
I'll talk
town
to
manager,
Heather.
see what they have for a schedule and
Okay.
where they wanna put us.
Okay. So do I need to, if we're all kind of going there?
As long as they don't sit together,
I'm not gonna be there for it.
Yeah,
so it's
but
not gonna
these
be there.
two.
and they're not gonna vote on anything, and they're not gonna talk about.
Yeah, you're not gonna be, it's just there
No,
to talk,
it's just-
to present, okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Alright,
Yeah, we're just here to present,
Citizens.
a proposal
okay,
and talk about our views
okay,
on it, so.
alright.
I think you've handled, the way you explained it to us tonight, maybe we'll throw you in front of the wolves.
yeah.
It's such a good job.
You did a great job. So, let me just double check real quick on my electronic device, because I always put questions on
You're
there.
gonna go blind watching that thing.
I am gonna go, yep. If I can figure out how to use my smartphone, it's smarter than me. Yes,
Quick
go
question,
ahead.
Robbie. Sorry if it's already discussed, for the Mass Ave water main replacement, is that still like on the schedule for this year?
It is at Mass DOT, waiting for their approval. So we were hoping to go out to bid for May 15th, but, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes, that was a while ago.
No, that
Yeah, so
wasn't-
the Mass DOT has until May 15th to submit their either questions or approval to move it to the next stage. So we were talking with the engineers, and we were looking to go out to bid for the beginning of May, and then do a addendum with the mass permit in it. And they said sometimes the Mass DOT's taking months to get that approval. So we kind of left it as, well, let's just wait until we get May 15th and see what happens. So we'll wait until May 15th, hopefully everything gets approved, and then it's a go. And my opinion is September, we'll start working on it. My opinion.
Hopefully if all falls through,
We're
yeah.
all sick of that
Yeah.
pipe too, so.
Engineers have their plans ready to go, so as soon as they literally get that permit, they said,
It's boom.
we
Yeah,
can
and it-
put
they-
it out to bid.
The way.
I'm down there with you. I want-
Yeah.
I want this water, is it how long, like, will it impact, like, will the water be off for a long time?
I would say, maybe for one day, part of a day, just so when they do the temporary hookups and stuff, so they're gonna run a temporary line down the street, and then they're gonna tie all the houses to that temporary line, and then they have to do a connection from the existing system to get that temporary line active. So that would probably be the only time that there's a downtime. So, and usually that would, probably be, and we'll give notices out, so I would say we'll probably do water shutdown at 8 o'clock and back on by, we'll probably put 4 o'clock, but we'll hope it'll be done by like 2.
Okay, cool, sounds good, thanks.
And then after that, it should be good to go, and, downside, you're gonna have a pipe in front of your house with the line coming
But the
right up.
upside is you have fresh new pipe in there.
Yeah.
I saw something above ground potentially.
Yes.
How do you like drive over that?
They usually cut it or put like a coal patch over your driveway so you can drive over it. And there's actually not many house connections, I think it was 30.
Yeah.
30 house connections that is, that's gotta go and feed. And we're doing it right, someday in the future, if we ever do a water main expansion or tie in loops, cause you always wanna have loops in your water system. And so we're doing a big line down to Arbor Street, so if we ever replace Arbor Street and tie it into like Page and Reservoir, it'll be, everything, we're setting things up for the future, so we're doing it the right way, so.
Good.
Should be good.
Yeah, my questions were just on the PFAS stuff, so it's all for next week. So, I'm good.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I like it.
I second that.
Oh, I mean, public comment,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, do we have any public comment?
I suppose we kinda got it.
Okay, we got it all.
Was that a little premature? That's all
Okay,
right.
now you can make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to
All
adjourn.
right,
Okay,
we're done, thank you.
all right.